Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's okay. So today I'm doing a silver VOD review of Luke. We have done a Luke VOD review before. I believe Luke is still silver from what Lucas told me earlier. So we're just going to go through and we're going to VOD review basically Luke's Mercy. We have a very cute skin on of the, I can't pronounce the name of it, but I love the bee charm of it as well. It's the other, what's it called? It's the other Lunar New Year one other than Soul Blim, so it's that one. I unfortunately can't pronounce it though, but it is adorable. The staff is amazing. But yes, I'm just going to do a VOD review of Luke right now. Once again, you can get your own VOD reviews. They are for free. They are basically on my Twitch for 5,000 channel points. All you have to do is just come to my streams and you can either like stay and lurk in order to build up the channel points. Then once you hit 5,000 of them, then by all means you can like get your own VODs done. Or of course there's other like rewards you can do as well that are quite fun to do. So yeah, so we're going to get into the VOD. Looking at your team, the stream overlay is like having a cover in it, which is annoying. I'm not on my normal house, by the way, today while I'm recording this. Is probably why. But I think it is a Genji, a Tracer, a Ball, Moira, and Mercy. Now, this isn't a very optimal Mercy comp. Of course, if it is a Genji, which yeah, it is. It's a Genji. I've just said him. Of course, if you're going to be damage boosting the Genji, you just go around and just damage boost the Genji. That's kind of your main pocket target. So yeah, so we're just gonna get into it here. So obviously already putting the beam on the Genji, which is great. And yes, we'll just end up going into the fight. So I think one of the main things you're going to struggle with playing Mercy here is obviously just not having people that go really well with Mercy here. I would recommend people like characters that would actually go really well. Would probably be someone like an Ana or like maybe a Brig and stuff like that. But we'll just see how it goes. So instead of like looking around for your team here, I'd be in your Genji, which is exactly what you're doing. Nice ping on the Reaper. Okay, instead of just turning around to try and like get this Reaper, obviously you acknowledge that the Reaper's there. That's great. That's awesome. But instead of like going in with the pistol, I'd just carry on going in with your Genji. You can GA in and then like kind of play these like cover bits, or you can like play bits of the payload and stuff like that. The only issue with pocketing a Genji is like you have to be like really confident A in the Genji and also B in your movement. So I'd either GA over here, or I'd GA like behind here, or even like GA like kind of, I don't know, just anywhere that's going to be out of the way, because you trying to hit this 1v1 with this Reaper is not going to do anything. So you can like GA through, you can maybe try and help the Moira and stuff. You can like try and get your beam on and kind of like play so like you're playing like around here and stuff in order to, what's it called? But yeah. Because you trying to get the pistol out on this Reaper is not going to do anything. So we're GAing through. Yeah, I think it's just unfortunate that everyone just kind of ended up piling on kind of thing. Also, your Tracer did die earlier as well, so it's alright, no worries, we'll just reset.
Medical technology is truly extraordinary.
Okay, so we have a Junkrat now. This makes Mercy really hard to play with. Okay. I like how you got your Glock out here, I'm going to be honest, right? Because obviously you came in, you saw he was going to be TP, awesome. But, right, you have to remember that Mercy does 20 damage with a pistol shot plus 40 headshot, no matter what distance she's at. So as soon as you see this Reaper TP, it's fine for you to, like, start backing off, or maybe even look to someone to GA to, like, the Junkrat that's coming back. You could literally kind of go back and you could just, like, be spamming your pistol and stuff back at the Reaper, because obviously the Reaper will do more damage to you when he's up close, right? So I don't mind that you're doing this, obviously, you know, trying to like do a bit of damage to him as you're backing off, and then you want to be going and damage boosting your Junkrat, as your Junkrat is your main blue beam. It's probably going to be your main blue beam target now. The only issue with your team right now is Mercy doesn't synergize well with any of these. Basically, Mercy doesn't synergize like well with any of this team kind of thing. So I'd highly recommend just kind of, what's it called? Like switching. If you're in the scenario, it's best just to switch to someone maybe like a Brig, because obviously they have this Reaper, so you don't want anyone that's going to be able like to be TP'd onto, like for instance an Ana, a Zen, you know, people that are very vulnerable. You instead want to be playing with people that have like that bit more survivability, like a Brig or like a Kiriko, for example. But did the Junkrat just teabag you? Because if so, that's very funny. But anyways, we'll get back to it. I'll get back onto you now. Oh, is it coming to pick you up? I don't know if it just comes to teabag you or to pick you up. I don't know. And it's your team very much just staggering in. We do have a Sojourn now, which is probably going to be your main blue beam. We have to be aware, though, is, what's it called? We have to be aware that your Moira has fallen, which you could steal from the kill feed before, which means you do need to help in this ball a little bit quicker than what you were. Lovely. I was just about to say, oh, okay. So instead of super jumping up here, you had the correct, like 100% correct thing to go and help your Junkrat here. But instead of super jumping up into the air, which makes you very, what's it called? Makes you very vulnerable to like the hit scans, like the soldier and stuff like that. And also, Jungle Queen could also hit you like this, for example, although it's not going to do as much damage. Your soldier's basically the main threat here, especially if you have his visor, right? So instead of GAing and just automatically super jumping upwards, I would recommend going into attach your beam and then kind of like slingshotting yourself back to like around here, or even like back onto, what's it called, onto this high ground, because then it allows you to peel back to your main blue beam targets of your Sojourn. But we're gonna see what happens. So obviously we help. And it would have saved you from having this like weird awkward scenario of like you just like getting a little bit like caught around here. If you like manage to basically get that, you know, get that directional GA off. But anyways, just can't really do anything to your Moira there. Nice, waiting for them to go away to res, which is nice. Obviously your Sojourn as well killed the Reaper, which is very, very nice. I would have just done there a direction, like a normal GA to them, and then just done like a quick flick up and then got onto this high ground and literally just like how you are now basically, but it's a way that you're able to keep your beam on like a little bit more basically. So yeah, so we'll keep going. Lovely pocketing. But once again, you can use this high ground again because you being on the ground is basically with the comp they have. Being on like the ground with all the rest of your team is going to make you a lot more vulnerable because people could just walk onto you. Like if this Jungle Queen has shouts, she could just walk onto you. Same with Reaper, same with Moira. However, if you're holding up on this high ground, like with this sign, you can just help your team up here instead of just dropping down. You can literally stand here, help your Sojourn out, help your team out until obviously the bot starts rotating more like around this like Coliseum bit. Then obviously, yeah. So anyways, just keep going. Damage boosting, which is nice. Just don't get your Glock out. Like literally just keep on following your Sojourn. Like your Sojourn is getting a lot of picks here and is currently focusing one of the supports, right? Literally, instead of just getting your Glock out, just start GAing. Play with your Sojourn. Alright? Just put the Glock away. It's good that you got her though, like don't get me wrong. It's good that you got her. But it's good practice for when you get up to higher ranks. You're not always going to win a 1v1 against, say, what's it called? You're not always going to win a 1v1 against a Jungle Queen. So obviously damage boosting Sojourn, which is nice. Instead of hanging out in the open and just like walking across like you did, I'd highly recommend just like staying here. And if you want to rotate, use your, what's it called? Use your Junkrat to kind of like do like a GA rotation if you need to. Just so you're playing like as much cover as possible, basically. And in this scenario, instead of damage boosting your Junkrat, I damage boost your Sojourn. This is because the Junkrat hasn't got anyone in like really like close ranges or like really, basically they're not all like crumpled up together enough to get, you know, to get value from it basically. So instead you want to put your blue on the Sojourn, as a Sojourn will basically want to challenge the soldier. And the problem with Sojourn against soldier at this range is soldier is basically a little bit more of a longer range hero compared to the Sojourn. So essentially, if this is like a 1v1, they both hit the exact same amount of shots, exact same amount of headshots, in theory, the soldier will kill the Sojourn. So instead, you want to be with your blue beam on the Sojourn here, okay? Nice heals though. Now you can hit, right, okay. You can hear this Reaper. I'm hoping you can, right? And you're currently just walking out into the open. Literally, just play over here and help your Sojourn because you can hear this Reaper. You obviously want to be at max beam range because you don't want any of that spray damage from the, what's called, from the Reaper or anything like that. That's obviously going to be attacking your Sojourn. So literally you just want to like play as far back as you can and do not peek any of this. Because currently right now you're putting yourself in risk that you don't need to. You were perfectly fine where you were. So just honestly just stay there. Alright? And if you played that distance and knew that the Reaper was there, you just back off. It's alright, it's all good. We have that for the next fight, which is nice. Alright, so we have Soldier and Sojourn now. So this is turned from like a comp where it's like, oh, it's not great for Mercy, to a comp that actually very much does really, really well with Mercy, I'm gonna be honest. We're currently doing nothing though. This GA has just done nothing for you. I feel as though what you're struggling right now with is knowing who you should be staying with, right? Because there's been a lot of the time now where you're kind of just like GAing about not knowing what you should be doing, all right? Try to save that GA for helping your team and like actually like, how do I put it? Like, you need to find someone to put a beam on, right? Whether it be your Soldier, whether it be your Sojourn, just basically someone, right? Because currently at the moment you're just GAing out into like random places like this and you're not being active within this team fight, right? So I'd maybe stick with your Soldier here because obviously your Sojourn has ult, right? So essentially before she pops this ult, you want to be staying with your Soldier to help your Soldier build up that ult a bit quicker. And then obviously if your Sojourn says a little like ult line, or you can like see her like glowing like the little blue color a little bit more, so she has a charged shot, you can obviously go and damage boost her then. With your ball, I think you only really have to just wait for your ball just kind of like come in and just help heal him and stuff like that. And with Moira as well, it's the same thing. If she's kind of like in like a bad spot and stuff, and you can like get to her, just help her out if you can as well. But these two are going to be your main priority within this comp, all right? I'm just trying to show off my Mercy parkour skills. I mean, fair enough. You can hear the Reaper? Okay. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I hope you're playing with a headset, and if you are, either if you're not, invest in one, or just plug in like some like really cheap like what's it called, wired earphones or something like that, because you should, yeah, no, literally go to a pound shop and go and buy some like small earphones and stuff like that, like literally the ones that cost like £1 or £2 or something like that. They might have really bad noise quality, but at least you have sound. And if you can, try to save up for a headset, because it will really help you in sound. Because at the moment, it's very obvious that you cannot hear this Reaper. And as Mercy, I would actually say that sound plays a lot into like your awareness. Because the more you can take in as Mercy, sorry, I love how his arm, oh, no, go back. No, I've missed him now. His arms are like moving. I really liked it. Yeah, you should be able to be like hear people more, because as Mercy, obviously your main thing is to stay alive and help your team as much as possible, right? And obviously your biggest threats are going to be people that can TP onto you or have got movement abilities that can chase you down. People like Diva, people like Tracer, people like Sombra, like Reaper, people that can basically TP onto you or like blink onto you or just appear in front of you basically are going to be your biggest threats. And usually, especially when a Sombra comes to hack you and stuff, you can actually hear the hacking noise before it goes off. It means that you can GA away before the hacking like goes off, basically. So it's just, what's it called? I feel as though try and invest, even if it's just like a cheap pair of earphones, invest in some, because honestly, it will change your life with playing this game. Because you would be able to hear this Reaper. I think also at the same time, I wouldn't be positioned here with how your team is positioned. Obviously, you want to be helping someone. I like how you're like helping the ball. Do not get me wrong, but you can do it from here, or like hugging this wall, because you could help this Sojourn if you need to. You could peek forward and help the what's it called, help the Soldier, or you can also duck down and help the ball. Now the ball obviously has his shields up and he's still quite healthy, so I don't think you really need to be on him right now. You can still help your DPS out and stuff like that, but you kind of being here is very, very vulnerable to this, what's it called, this Reaper that has TP'd onto you, alright? So we're gonna see what happens. So you realise he's there once he starts shooting you, which is great. Lovely ping. Lovely GA away. Nice keeping your distance. Don't get closer to him though. Like as soon as you see him like refit going away like this, honestly just like stay with your Soldier, like, because your Soldier or like someone like your Sojourn, like someone that can basically do damage to this Reaper now. I would actually probably say your Sojourn. Don't like try and get closer to him, because once again it puts you, you know, at risk of losing more HP that you need to. All right. But nice. That's fine if you want to get the Glock out there. That's all right. Just for getting people off. All right. So I believe your Sojourn still has her ult. Nice voice lines. So what are we doing now? So your Sojourn's wanting to take an off angle, right? So as soon as you see your Sojourn want to take this off angle by herself, I'd go in and I'd go and help her. The reason is because like your soldier is playing main like with your ball and has the Moira to support. However, if your Sojourn gets into trouble, she doesn't have anything to help her, right? So what you want to be doing is essentially, and this is always like a really good thing to look for when you're kind of entering this section. Normally, one DPS will split off here. Now, it depends on what DPS that is, whether you go and follow. So, for example, say you're running a soldier with a tracer instead of the Sojourn, right? And the tracer blinks this way. That's fine. That's fine if you want to leave the tracers to go that way, right? So, what's it called? But if the soldier, and obviously you go with the soldier. But because we're playing this Sojourn, like, soldier comp, I'd go with the Sojourn. Didn't even see it. To be fair, I think you're too busy spamming your voice lines, I'm not gonna lie. But it's also the sound thing as well. You should be able like to hear her like kind of on that side as well. But we'll see what you do. She did end up killing him, which is nice. And it's the same thing. You're stood in a very vulnerable spot again, stuff like that. So just once again, play these covers some more. Like hug these walls and don't stand out in spots like this that you can be easily like, be spammed out of basically. Nice blue beam though. Okay, I'm you know what I see, Luke? You're playing very tunnel visioned, right? And what I mean by this is you're playing very focused on one single person, right? So this was perfect. Playing with your Sojourn is absolutely perfect. And then you kind of like went to go and help your soldier, which is like kind of fine, especially if you feel as though he's doing more. That's fine. Awesome. But just stay where you are and still like kind of keep this like open like profiling, right? So if I was you, I'd put like my camera here. And obviously it means I can still see my outline of my Sojourn if I need to go and help her, but also I can still help the soldier that's main. Now, you end up tunnel visioning onto the, onto the ball, and you end up Valking. Now, it's okay to Valk here. I feel as though it's an okay Valk. I would have maybe used it when they've engaged a little bit more. Like, for instance, when the Jungle Queen pushes in a little bit more and the Reaper pushes in a little bit more. Because at this distance, they're not really going to do anything kind of thing. So I'd wait for them to push in a little bit more before you Valk. And then you did this like little thing of like just like chasing around. Like around here. I'd literally just pop your Valk and just fly kind of like to hug these pillars up here. So obviously you're going to stay out of the way from the people on the low ground that could do lots of damage to you. But you're also still hugging these walls so people like... I think the soldier's still respawning. But like say if the soldier was still there, he's obviously not going to spam you out by just being out in the open and stuff. You know, you're still using these pillars and then just using that height, the height basically. Ring around Rosie, no, literally, that's what it was like. It was like, oh my gosh, come here, and you're like chasing him around. All right, if the ball goes into somewhere that you can't reach him safely, which is kind of what happened at this point. He like played around here. You don't need to follow him. Like you wait for him because you had to think, right, where's this ball going to go after he's rolled around in that front bit? He's obviously either going to go into the team, which is when you can hook your beam onto him then, or he's going to roll back. And in that case, you can just stay where you are and wait for him to roll back and chuck your beam on. Remember, you still have Moira here to help out as well. And then literally just kind of like stick out here and play. So we're going to see what happens for the rest of this Valk. I helped Sojourn. I'm a PC Sojourn. Okay, you completely missed... What's it called? You missed Sojourn. I don't know if this might have just been a sound thing again as well. Like I feel as though this whole VOD is kind of showing off why sound is really important. Because I feel as though you should have been able to hear your Sojourn like shooting up here and stuff. So you can like hook your beam onto her. But your main thing was essentially you needed to help your Sojourn. Like I love how you're going in to go and like push the damage boost and stuff like that. But you know, you ended up basically missing the Sojourn. Okay, this should have not been a res either, right? So, obviously, okay, let's just take it back to, okay, the Sojourn's dead. That's fine. We cannot do anything about that now. What are we going to do instead? And in my personal opinion, I would have either stayed away and helped these two people out, because you going in to go and res here while there's people that can still threaten your res is a very, very bad idea, right? With res, you want to be able to do it in the most safest possible way as possible. And obviously the Reaper still being here, he's a very close range hero. He can literally, especially if it's headshots onto you, can like clear you in like 2 taps, which is basically what it takes for you to do this res kind of thing. So I would wait to see if this res is, going to be possible. Help your Moira out if needed, and help your ball out if needed. If they're okay, then I'd kind of just like flick back and try and like help your soldier out a little bit, and just, you can still like Valk, because you were still in your Valk, right? Just play up here. Play like holding these like corners and stuff like that, all right? So we're gonna see what you do now, because your Valk is ending. Get your Glock out. Okay. I would have maybe, going into that room, I would have maybe looked for the soldier, but as soon as you realize there's no escape, and obviously he knows that you're going to be there, just literally get your Glock out, try and fight it if you can. It just get your ult charge as well if you do it. But I would like try not to stagger myself. But anyways, so Sojourn's ended up getting a pick, which is nice. Helping fall, which is nice. Same thing. Oh, sorry, I've gone backwards by accident. Same thing again with this scenario. Don't get me wrong. I love you going in to like help the ball and stuff like that, but I would have done it by using like a directional GA and playing up here, because like obviously what's it called? You can literally just like hug this this wall here and help these people. And then if you do hear the Reaper with your brand new like pound shop headphones, which I know you're gonna go get after this, Luke, you can literally just do a little like a V jump kind of thing over to the side, and then still help them out from over here basically. So it's just that little like bit of position. Like, do not get me wrong, like this position is good, but we can make it better by playing up here or playing on the opposite side. All right. So let's see what happens. There's a healing ball. Well, yes. Okay, I'm hoping you stay with her. Okay. I think she ended up getting the health pack or something, or ends up getting healed by the Moira. You put the beam on the right person, which is obviously your Sojourn. As soon as you see this Sojourn slide in, usually Sojourns like to slide in when they have a charged shot, or like they're going in to like finish off charging a shot and then hit it, right? So what you want to be doing is you see her like slide up, you GA with her, and you can GA like around here, or like basically somewhere that's like a little bit safer to try and help her, all right? But we'll keep going. Obviously, we GA away from the Jungle Queen, which is very, very nice. Be sure to still open up your camera, because this Jungle Queen is still going to be chasing you all, remember, right? Because you had to kind of like judge the health on the Jungle Queen. The Jungle Queen is still quite healthy, so obviously she's still going to, what's it called? She still will be wanting to help, like, hurt your team. So don't get me wrong, like, it's good that you're applying this damage boost onto the Sojourn, but just try to, once again, open up that camera angle and try just to look around a little bit more to just, just to be able to take as much information in as you can. Obviously, we're helping Sojourn. Nice. That was a failed G, which I know of. Just stay damage boosting your Sojourn here. Your Sojourn will just gladly clear everyone up here with a damage boost. You getting your Glock out here is just denying your Sojourn, like, I think she's not, I cannot see. I think, yeah, she has her ult, looking at the stream replay. Yeah, she does have her ultimate, but even if she didn't have her ultimate, it's denying her like ult charge and stuff like that, and just like kind of like kill potential and stuff basically. So just in general, just what's called, stick the blue beam on. It'd help her like annihilate people a lot quicker. She shouts at me after the match. I mean, it's not nice obviously when people shout at you and stuff like that, call me some words I cannot say. I mean, typical Overwatch, am I right? But no, honestly, if people do shout at you though, like, just ignore them at the time being, people are just mean, unfortunately, and you just have to like ignore them and kind of just go back and look at your old matches and stuff like that, and just be like, hey, what could I have done better and stuff like that. And obviously then you can obviously look back and feel like, okay, maybe she was correct, or maybe she was completely just, what's it called, out of like, don't know, like she was being really mean to you for no reason basically. But just try not to like, you know, try not to get hurt by it all. Basically, like obviously it's calm. People are going to be angry no matter what. You know, it is what it is. But anyways, so we'll keep going. Okay. With this, right? Because it's funny because you're trying to use this high ground on the attack, but you're not using it on the defense. I want you to actually switch that around, okay? Play this high ground on the defense, and on the attack you can kind of, but I would actually instead be pushing up with your Sojourn. You can play underneath this bridge here with her, or you can either like kind of like jiggle peek like this kind of like car, like playing up and down this car and stuff like that. Because like you try to get up to this high ground, what's it going to solve for your team? Like nothing. Like you might be able to bleed beam your soldier, do not get me wrong, but your soldier isn't the one that's aggressing right now. It's your Sojourn that's trying to, what's it called, push in to be aggressive. So I'd still be playing with her and play kind of, what's it called? Your team. But so we get up there, but it means that our Sojourn dies because you currently spent this entire time not looking at your team and instead just trying to get up onto this high ground, which isn't really going to help out anyone at all. So just once again, it's looking out for your Sojourn, because I feel as though there's been a couple of times now where you have kind of like let your Sojourn die. But it's fine. So obviously we let the Sojourn die. We now need to basically be focusing on damage boosting the soldier, all right? What? And we didn't. Okay. So what happened? So we were up here. In fact, let's go back. Let's go back. I want to analyze the entire scenario. All right. So we failed to jump up. That is fine. Right. In this point, you have to think to yourself, is this a safe res? Yes or no? Okay? Because this is where the enemies are going to be returning from, okay? This is where they're going to be coming from. Do you think this is going to be a safe res? 100% not. Until, you know, everyone has rotated out of here, then you'll obviously know it's a safe res. But it's so out in the open as well. Like, if it was a little bit more, like, towards this cover, I would maybe say a maybe if you did it really, really quick, right? But no, trying to get res off here is like a no-go. So what do we do instead? We have to now think, okay, how can we help the team now? We need to blue beam soldier, right? Where is our soldier? Where is our soldier? Oh, okay. He's inside the robot. Okay, that's fine. We just need to be like damage boosting someone else instead now. So it's fine if you want to stay up here. Okay, it's not the most optimal, but you can. So you can obviously put your beam onto the soldier and stay up on this high ground. You want to then basically blue beam the soldier. Right, what ends up happening? For some reason, you decide to rotate round to this. Okay, at the moment, we're rotating round to help nobody. None of your team are here. So instead, you want to just be hugging this wall, playing with a soldier, because this soldier can help basically get one of these like free people that you currently has LOS of. Maybe this like Jungle Queen that's currently trying to attack your ball and stuff like that. You want to be playing with the soldier. Just play up here. Just damage boost the soldier and play here, okay? Because currently right now you're rotating to nobody, all right? We then make the decision to turn back, which is great. Awesome. This is where we should be playing from. And then we go for this res, all right? If the soldier wasn't here, I would maybe say, oh, actually no, because the Reaper's going to TP on. So no, this is actually like a no res at all. So you just kind of want to, what's it called? You want to still stay up here. Let's just stay up here, damage boost your soldier, because it means that your soldier can like get an ult off maybe, especially with your damage boost and stuff, or maybe like help people out. We GA over. All right. We then basically land in the soldier's face with the Glock. Okay. And don't get me wrong, you got some really, really good shots on him. Okay, I will not lie to you. You did some great shots onto him. But you should not be here. You should instead still be helping your soldier, because your soldier has now popped the visor. Soldier is now doing this visor, what I'd classify as a naked visor, because he doesn't have the nano. He doesn't have like a Discord to help him. He doesn't have your damage boost. All right. your whole aim is to essentially go with this soldier and help him, because you come into here with a res that isn't, what's it called, isn't going to help, you know, it's just not going to do anything, and it ends up basically getting you killed. Yeah. And it also, I don't, who else died here? Oh, nobody else has died so far, which is great, because your team is actually kind of carrying it. Like, your soldier has got 2 picks with this, what's it called, with this visor. Imagine if you were here with this damage boost. Imagine how much this would have got off if you were with him with this damage boost, alright? But it's fine, alright? It's okay, it's all good. We learn, remember. This is all a learning process. And we do end up getting in the lead, which is great. Sadly, your soldier is getting picked off, which is fine. We just have to basically walk back like as quickly as you can. I normally like to say like group up and stuff like that, especially like coming back and stuff. Because it sometimes means, it sometimes like basically notifies people that you can like, that I'm like, you know, I'm not there. So Moira's get picked off. You go to help your soldier, which is nice. So okay, you know this Reaper's gonna call onto you, right? Because this is a very risky rise, because you know from the kill feed that your Moira has just died to the Blossom, right? Normally DPS like to camp the res, so we should kind of know that, what's it called, he should be like nearby and stuff like that. So I would honestly just stay here, play with your DPS, because your soldiers just got back, right? You can maybe eliminate like a few people that are going to be around this, or they'll push up a bit more, or maybe the ball will attack the Reaper and stuff like that. This then will give you space to res this, all right? Because you go in straight away, you don't know the scenario, and then suddenly like 3 people like pounce you kind of thing, you know? You haven't read the scenario before going in for that res, which I feel as though it's kind of like the same scenario for a lot of your reses. You haven't like, it's like going to a party and then you basically saying, I don't know, what's like a really good analogy? Like, okay, you walk into a room and everyone's really upset that a cat's died, and you like walk in, you see everyone's upset, and you pop out with a cat joke, right? You have to kind of like, what's it called? You have to like sit there and read the room, and like, you know, and read what's going on before you come out with a comment. Okay, it's a bad analogy. It's the best I can come up with, but that's kind of like, what's it called? that's kind of how I like basically do it. Just make sure that it's going to be an okay res before you go and res. That's what I'm going on about. Just ignore the analogy. But it's fine. So walking back. Obviously your soldier gets picked off. This kind of looks like a loss, but you have people that can get out still. Nice backwards GA. If I was to do this backwards GA though, I wouldn't do it backwards, because obviously there's still the reduced movement back from like the season 3 nerfs, something like that. I can't remember what season it was. So instead of like just doing the backwards one, I'd do a quick 180 and instead actually do a directional one back here. Because then it means that you're avoiding all of this spam from the choke. Like you have the Life Weaver spam, you also have the soldier spam and stuff like that. It basically means that you can still help your soldier, but you're just playing off to the side. You can just like jiggle peek it. Same thing, you can GA over to here as well if you want to. Just somewhere that's going to block that LOS, alright? So obviously you can't help him, don't go for that res. Oh, nice. Okay, so we move away, which is great. Okay, that's fine. Because what's it called? You're just like, there's no way for you to like really escape there, because it's just you and your ball left. You did some nice like maneuvering though, do not get me wrong. But instead of GAing back into the team, I would have started walking away. If he still kept chasing you, then just get your Glock out and try, maybe get a pick off on him. But if you die there, at least you've done it like getting away. I'd Valk here. Like while you're coming back here, I would have Valked, and I would have Valked and like kind of come around here, or like gone like in front here, because you have 2 people that are critical and very split up that aren't going to be helped by the Moira ult. And also the soldier has his visor. Obviously you don't want to be dropping down to help these people, so you can quickly put your beam on and then fly up above the bridge and help like this. Same on this side, you could just fly above and just kind of stay out of the way of the visor. But we're gonna see what you do. Okay, look, I need you to put this Glock away a little bit. Like, do not get me wrong. Like, I love, like, getting your Glock out as Mercy quite a few times and stuff. But it feels like you're just getting it out in points where you just don't need to. Try to think when you want to, when you want to get out this Glock, whether you're able to kill someone or finish off a kill. Because a lot of the time, I feel like you're just pulling it out for, like, no reason. Always try to look for isolated people and people that you feel like you can kill that nobody else in your team is going to kill, and it's obviously going to get value and stuff like that. But yeah. And then I don't know why we rotate it this way. I'm not gonna lie to you, Luke. Your whole mod is kind of like confusing me a bit. But it's fine. So put your beam on someone, obviously nice. Put it onto your sojourn, very, very nice. Same thing, I wouldn't drop here. I literally would just still like stay on this high ground and just damage these people. Like, it's just gonna be so much easier to just stay on this high ground and just damage these like this. Your sojourn kind of pops off there, which is nice. And we've read the room and we've realized, yes, it's safe to res, and we've resed. That is how I want you to kind of like do that for every single one of your reses, is just kind of like look around and see, is there going to be people about that are going to be able to res? You're not atrocious, Luke, honestly. You just need to, you just need to brush up on like a lot of things. Like your beam management is really, really good, right? Like I'll go through it at the end because we're near the end of the VOD, Luke. So I'll go through it at the end, like what your really good like strong points are and also your weaknesses. But don't say you're atrocious at Mercy. Like, your Mercy is still good. Like, you are still going to be better than someone that has just picked up the game and doesn't know anything about Mercy or anything about Overwatch. All right. So slide in with Sojourn. Nice Valk. Okay, we're going in. Okay. I would maybe not try going in at the Wraithing Reaper. If you want to go with the Glock here, focus the soldier, right? Because you trying to get this Wraithing Reaper is going to do nothing. If you want to get your Glock out, do it on the soldier. But if you don't really have anyone to kind of like Glock and stuff, just kind of stand back and like just damage these people like back here, okay? But we'll keep going. Back in round. Nice map knowledge. Nice damage boost. Instead of going to Glock here, I just damage boost your Sojourn. Because it seems like your Sojourn's actually been really, really like, good this game and stuff. You need to help her though. We'll help your soldier anyways. 1 HP. Okay. I would still commit with your Sojourn and your soldier here. So what's it called? I would go back and just kind of like damage these people here.
Your team is close.
But yeah. And then sadly we just end up kind of getting picked off. So what's it called? I would literally just like commit more with your DPS at that point instead of just being on the point. And we use your visor as well for some reason.
My ultimate is charging.
But that's fine. That's okay. That's all good. Alright, so I'm gonna see what you're gonna do here, which is obviously waiting for your Sojourn. Okay, nice. Ping him. Literally ping him and walk away. As soon as you register he's here, just walk away. It doesn't even matter if you get a ping on him or not. Just get your distance. Play with your Sojourn and just like come like behind here and stuff like that. All right. Nice movement there though. Lovely. No, it's alright. Stay where you are. Just stay. Okay. You just seem very obsessed with this Reaper, right? You versus a Reaper, 99% of the time, on a 1v1, the Reaper will win, okay? So literally, just stay with your Sojourn. Sojourn has ult. Sojourn can damage, with damage boost, can do, what's it called? Like, I think it's 195 now. So literally, just stick with her. I love this movement though, do not get me wrong. Like, this movement up here was so good. Just sit here and damage boost. And like, if you need to rotate down, you rotate down and you help your Moira who's getting attacked by the Reaper. Because remember as well, Reaper gets health steal. still there. The same thing again. You end up dying to him again. How many times have you died to the Reaper and you haven't killed this Reaper? I think every single time, right? It's like you're not going to, what's it called? You're not going to win that 1v1. But it's fine. We'll keep going back. It's annoying that you got killed there as well, because this is like end fight scenario. If you end up losing this fight, you've lost the map. So if you were present in this fight, I feel as though this could have been maybe in a winnable fight. We'll see what you do. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it's just a loss now. Yeah. Okay.
We have one chance to stop
So,
them. Move.
Luke, I will say your beam management overall, when you're using your beams, is great. Okay, like you know when you need to damage boost, you know when you need to heal. That's great. Your general, your movement, you seem like you know how to move with Mercy, like some of the directional stuff. I feel like you just need to kind of implement a lot of it into gameplay scenarios. I know you say that you use like your Mercy parkours quite a bit. I want you to now implement that some more. Implement it by using it in game, like the directional GAs and stuff like that. Just in general stuff like that. Okay. We need to work on putting that Glock away to start off with, right? Because there's a lot of the times where you're going into 1v1 this Reaper, or just go in with your Glock and kill someone, when you can damage boost someone that will probably do, no offense, Luke, but just in general as a mercy against any other character in the game. If you damage boost someone, that person is probably most likely going to be able to do more, all right? Especially because you have that damage boost on them, right? So you want to be going in, you want to be helping that Sojourn with that damage boost. I think the next thing is your general awareness needs a lot of like work, right? So I'm gonna kind of like split it off into like the two sections that we need to work on. The first one is the sound thing, right? The sound, obviously, we can't really do anything about until you either like get a headset or you get some kind of like general earphones or something like that. But we can work on the other one, which is your general game sense with the game, right? You have to kind of like realize where people are going to be attacking from, and where you should be depending on where is safe for you to play, basically, right? So it's like you just need to be present a bit more in the team fights, which I feel as though this also kind of like leads to with the game sense thing. You need to kind of like think in your head, who is the person I should be damage boosting here, and how can I be in the most safest yet effective place to help them? Is it on like a high ground? Is it behind this wall? It needs to be, what's it called, around a corner at some point, basically. So you need to be a bit more present in team fights and being able to damage boost people, all right? But overall, other than that, Luke, it was... Oh, and sorry, did I mention res? No, I haven't mentioned res, sorry. That's the one other thing. We need to read the room before res. I know it kind of leaks into like the game sense thing again, of like knowing when you should be able to res and stuff like that. It's just kind of like that knowledge of, do I need to res here? Or kind of like wait a few seconds and get a little bit more and stuff like that, right? So there's that as well. So Luke, I think like the general thing you need to like work on first, I think, is just building that game sense a little bit more. In general, as in kind of learn on the team fights and stuff, where people can push from, where the dangers are from, who can attack you up close, who can attack you from really far away and stuff like that. Literally focus on that first, right? Because then that will lead into your, what's it called? That'll lead into your res technique, that'll lead into when you should pull out the Glock and when you should be damage boosting people. It all kind of stems down to that. So what I want you to do is I want you to work on that first, and obviously get yourself some headphones as well, because that will really, really help you, and then kind of expand on it from there. But yeah, thank you guys so much on Twitch that have been watching. Thank you so much for Luke for submitting the VOD. Thank you so much to all you on YouTube who have stuck around and watched this. Once again, you can get your own VODs see for 5,000 channel points on my Twitch. I do them every single Monday. All the VODs basically, but of course you can redeem channel points no matter what the day, as I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays, and those are normally just my own gameplay. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.